We usually up here 570 times. It would have been more if it was they not they should they we can coming here over our town, but we're expecting 250 people to show.
Okay.
ATS system from.
And more finally, because it made a big buzz and everybody looking forward to it already.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm saying.
What'd you do?
I'm
Oh, nice. For, specific company or?
Currently, no. I was working.
Uh-huh. Something different in the same, aspect or something else different?
Move out.
Okay.
It's less than that's what we need.
Okay.
It's all the off.
the most out of your partnership with the mothership being Microsoft. So let's get started. First and foremost, IAMCP Americas asked that we share this code of conduct with you. And so when I was looking at this, I heard in the back of my head, my grandmother's voice. She's German. And so I think she would want me to say it, that we should treat all participants with courtesy and respect. This webinar is being recorded, so be on your best behavior. We will share this with you afterwards. External AI note takers are not permitted. Boot them out. Unless, of course, you are Amy.
Jason, I thought you said your grandmother was German. That's Australian.
That's Australian.
Very Australian.
Really bad. Use the chat Q&A for recent questions. Seems like there's no audio coming through, so we'll get that fixed. Thank you, Barris.
Okay.
It's fixed. Beautiful. Content is for registered participants only. Do not redistribute. We'll be putting it online, so it's okay. You can join us there. Just wanted to share that really quickly. But this is my favorite slide. These are our new members. I hope some of them are, I know at least one is in here in the audience. So let's recognize John De Los Reyes from JDLR Financial. Keelan Clark Conant from OpenText. She cannot be here with us today, but I know this gentleman is Magdaleno Mayorga, otherwise known as Mags from Onyx. Those of you who are new, if you want to know more about the benefits that you get from your membership, you can join our Member Power Hour coming up the first Thursday of May, and we'll take you through all of the activities there, the benefits, the perks that you get, and show you how to utilize the tools that make the whole thing run performatively. And speaking of making things run, I want to recognize these people. If your name is up here because you are a member of a committee or you are a chair of that committee, please rise and be recognized for the outstanding work you do to make this whole thing work here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep, great people to keep the whole thing working. And if you're interested in joining any of these committees, let us know. We actually have a survey here at the end of the meeting, and we'll look for you to help and join us out. One or more participants in the lobby. And there we go. So I'm going to bring up somebody very special. She is our current chapter president. She is guiding us all behind the scenes, helping us develop as leaders. And she, of course, knows this stuff in and out. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley Duenas.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I had a great opportunity a couple weeks back. Michelle was there as well. We went down and represented IAMCP SoCal at the WIT Igniting Excellence Conference in bright, sunny San Diego, and had an opportunity to kind of increase the collaboration between the chapters and between the two organizations, WIT and IAMCP, and had some great themes and takeaways that I wanted to be able to share, and kind of explain like the why this matters to those that are not already dual members of both associations. So through IAMCP, WIT, how many years ago, Michelle, spawned off? 9 now? I think about 9 years ago, the WIT side of things, women in technology within IAMCP became so prevalent. They started their own organization, which we found out in San Diego is actually being rebranded to drive inclusivity. It's not just for women, and it's not just for people in tech. So WIT now stands for We Ignite Transformation. And the themes were really around leadership, personal branding, career growth, and what do we do with AI, and how does that impact people in the various stages of leadership, career process, their organizations. And so we had some great speakers that were in attendance, panels, and some real big takeaways that we're going to pull into some of the future chapter meetings. So we're talking and really looking to bring some of the content here to SoCal. We are the largest chapter in the Americas, and we represented really, really well down in San Diego. So a big thank you to IAMCP for representing and allowing us the opportunity to collaborate with this event. The next one. You want to take this or you want me to go?
Go for it.
Okay. So this is a new idea, and it spawned from monthly. There is a Hall of Past Presidents conference call to help the current president of the chapter kind of navigate challenges, have advice on things that have been done in the past. Got a couple of hot members here in the house. Will you raise your hand? Eric, Ro, Manish, all sit on the call there with me. Brian is not here yet. But in February, we had over 100 people registered and over 60 in the room. For those that have been here over the years, we've done the 20-second introductions as a portion of the meeting, but then it became 30 minutes, 45 minutes. We were approaching 60 minutes of introductions. So what we're doing now is we grow and kind of scale the chapter and the number of attendees that we're driving. We're giving an opportunity. It's a micro sponsorship to have 3 partners go ahead and pay $150 for 5 minutes to talk about their business, have 1 slide to present, and talk through either a partnering initiative, a new product that you have on the market. But since we won't be doing each person speaking to their business and what they do, we do have the networking prior as well as post for the event, but this will be your 5-minute speaking opportunity, and we're doing 3 of these per meeting. So knowing that April, May, June is right around the corner, we are selling our very first 3 partner introduction spots, and I was curious if anybody in the room wants to take us up on that right now. Manish, Matthew, we got 1 more, and Michelle. Perfect. So Hop, I think that this has worked. We're going to continue doing this. And if you are interested in future meetings, you can go ahead. I'll share my information. We can sell them through the end of the year if you're interested. And we can look at more opportunities on how to highlight what you're doing on a smaller scale, knowing that you may not have the opportunity to do the full 25-minute presentation as sponsor for $1,000 to cover our great luncheon back there. So thank you. We'll get more information from all of you and look forward to talking about the success of the program.
Thank you, Ashley. Oh, that's going the wrong way. That's going backwards. Lighting excellence. Okay. Chapter has a big heart, demonstrated by its support of the Ronald McDonald House of Orange County. You're going to see their name a couple of times. Number 1, we are going out to the Walk for Kids on April 25th. I've already registered. Join me. Join the Partner Masters team. Partner Masters being one of the corporate members that we have here with the chapter. We're walking with Justin Slagle and the rest of that group. The 17th annual. If you can't join us, that's fine. It's a Saturday morning. Who's going to get out of bed early? I'm an early bird. I do that, but not everybody. You can certainly support the cause through a donation or share the link within your network to encourage others to contribute. We also want to recognize Karut. Did you guys like the lunch we had this morning? Yeah, it's good. It's prepared, that also with a heart behind it. So Karut is a nonprofit that we have known for quite a while. They support women that are overcoming trafficking, addiction, and incarceration. They provide them with training. They help them through the course of the operation of the catering. They learn these job skills and can move back out into the market to support them and their families. Mentorship, real world work. It's great stuff. Here again, if you have the opportunity to support Karut through a donation, we encourage you to please do that. This is a pet project of President Bryan, past President Bryan. And if you can't do that, that's totally cool. Share the link, push it out, or refer Karut to someone else in your network who needs the catering services. All right. Now that we're dispensing with business, let's turn our attention now to the modern MSP. I'd like to bring up three fine gentlemen. The first one, he's the president of eTop Technology. If you spell eTop backwards, it makes his last name Pote. He's also the founding CEO of Zentop Consulting. And if you spell that backwards, it's Potnez. No, that doesn't work. Ladies and gentlemen, BJ Pote. This other man, he is literally an angel. He is the founder and CEO of IT Systems Solutions. He's representing a great deal of work in the MSP world. Let's please welcome Miguel Cuevas. And our third panelist coming up to the stage here, he's not an MSP, he just plays one on TV. He is the principal solutions architect of Frametype Solutions, Matthew Collins. So I'm going to pass the mic around. I'm going to ask you each, if you could, please, take a moment. Introduce yourself. Let us know what is your story, how you got to where you are, and what you are now seeing in the market.
Matthew Collins, not an MSP, ISV, software development company, Microsoft Marketplace champion. And we are a startup and we specialize in productizing professional services and putting those in marketplace. So that's pretty much.
What have you been seeing out in, what's been happening of recent that you've seen out in the market?
So it's almost become subliminal. Copilot AI has become, the top brick. And of course, Microsoft's, putting everything towards, a big AI play. But marketplace and being transactable is kind of in that same tier with security. It's kind of an underlying current. And they're still boosting it on LinkedIn and Reddit and other social medias. So I think this year you'll see kind of a big push back towards putting agents in a marketplace. I think you'll see a marketplace specifically for AI. And there's a lot of adoption and there's a lot of now, I think in this next few quarters, you're going to see AI and security come in to play.
Mm-hmm. Great. Miguel, tell us your story. What have you seen lately? Where have you come from? And what is shocking to you?
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning. Good afternoon. Enjoy your lunch. Introduce myself, you said, right?
Yes.
Great. So Miguel Cuevas with IT System Solutions. I have been in business for about 18 years. Before becoming a business owner and entrepreneur, I was working as an accountant. And so I do have a background in accounting and business administration. And then back in 2008, I had internal questions on technology. So then I went back to college. And then while I was in college, people were already approaching me to service their computers. And then soon I opened my first business on a computer repair, that's what it was, and sold it in 2012, 15 actually. And then in 15, I opened this one, IT System Solutions. So I have been applying where I learned in college along with accounting. And I noticed that it's working not just for myself as a business owner, for our business, but also for our clients, because we are in a way our consultant for our clients. So we see it and we talk about technology, we talk about business, we talk about payroll, we talk about insurances, we talk about all those great things, and they just love us and they just want to have us around. That's what it's been working for us, and I love that.
William, same question to you.
Oh, goodness. So eTop, we've been around about 14 years. I, at the time was like doing a lot of field work for other MSPs and was like, I've heard of this thing called an MSP. It's where they pay you every month to do work for them. If I had known then what I know now, I probably would have started an ice cream shop. But with all of that being said, honestly, it's been a really fun chance to grow and learn. Our team's been growing. We've been doing something 20 to 30% year-over-year growth, and just keeping that pace up and trying to ramp it up, frankly. With that, we just have developed this kind of relentless approach towards never stop improving. And so for us, that's the, all right, well, let's do operations coaching. Let's really make sure that our processes, our people, our procedures, our automations, our efficiency, like our entire life, every single day, like we're pushing something forward to get better. And then with some of the recent like introductions of AI, like it's allowing us to do that same iterative process, but like 10 times faster than we've ever been able to do. And I'm actually having more fun than I've had in a very long time, just simply because we're able to do things that previously would have just taken too much time, too much effort. It's too much of a high hanging fruit. It's not worth it to do if you're gonna have a human do it, but if you can make something else do it, I'm in for that. And then, yeah.
So have you seen the rate of change increasing around your clients? How have you been responding to that? What are the skills you've found kind of critical to enable that, to respond to that?
So at the moment, most of our clients aren't hyper technical in that front. So I will find that we probably have about 10% of our clients are actively really like, I know this is changing everything. I don't know how, help me. And the rest are kind of like, I know it's out there. We use it for like writing an email and I'm like, no. Like, and so that's a big part of why I've been just putting myself and our team under a ton of pressure to like, we need to learn this so we can be just as absolutely as close to the bleeding edge as we possibly can be, without getting cut, right? Like it's a very, very fine line to be leading, like what's possible, without cutting off your nose. But that's now allowing me to start showing things off to our client base. And they're like, I want that. And so a lot of times it's like clients don't have the ability to give it words. And so they oftentimes just need to be shown the picture. And so like, that's how AI searches, right? It searches kind of in pictures or thoughts or vibes, if you will. And so like now I can show clients a picture of what good could look like. It may not be the good for them, but it inspires ideas.
How has the rate of change increased? Has it? Yeah.
Straight vertical. I mean, it's painful to keep up with, but it's fun because it's changing daily. Like with like Cloud Code leaking their source code a couple of days ago, like that was interesting. Yeah, whoops. But now we're learning. Basically, we can adjust that and learn how they think about what they do, and it changes some of the way we implement things. And it's been what, a day and a half. Like, I don't know, the rate of change is insane, but it's also a lot of what makes it fun.
Never a boring day in this industry. Miguel, have you seen the same?
When it comes to the price change, no, I mean, no, we are still firm with our prices. We're not changing, we're not lower them. In fact, we may have to increase them due to the economy that's happening currently. But no, I have not seen much of what's it called? Our clients are okay with that as well. They're not complaining about our prices. Well, some do, but what can I do?
And not every MSP is doubling down on AI. There is, how do I phrase this? Is the adoption curve just delayed? Is it just not critical to your clients?
In my case, it's true. I love when our clients challenge us with some technology questions. It is then when we actually had to learn ourselves how to get back to them with those questions. But when it comes to AI, we're not implementing it fully as them. However, we're doing our best to learn as much as we can. And I think in our case, we are under staffing, which is the reason why we're not learning as much. If I had, enough employees, probably myself, I will learn a lot more into it. But because of that, I am pretty much operating. And so there's no time for me to learn as much. But I'm going to have to do that. I had to make time to do that. But my clients are taken care of when it comes to technology or their AI needs so far. That's what makes me somehow at peace.
So, to his point, prices are increasing. How do you differentiate in the market? How do you provide additional value? So, of the MSPs in here, how many have a curated knowledge base that they use for like support? Do they have like a curated knowledge base that they offer to clients that they may or may not ever use? If you do, that's a value. It's probably just typical index search. And so a method to provide value is to front end that with an agent. So then you become Frontier, and you're providing a secure AI experience for your customers. And then you can tie it into other curated content, MS Learn, other options out there. Oh, so now I have this agent front end for the client. That's a transactable SaaS offer in the marketplace. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what we're pushing. And that differentiates you from, and actually starts that knowledge that you're collecting. And you can even use AI to go and search your database of previous incidents or tickets, every ticket. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can leverage AI internally and present that front facing in a secure way to the client.
So we see that there's a spectrum of MSPs, and there are those that are simple services, but embedded into the other areas of operations of their clients, all the way out to the other side where you are leading that client up into different areas of the Microsoft ecosystem,
Exactly.
the stack. How has that changed? And I'm going to make it available so any of you can ask questions here in just a second, but how has that changed your relationship then with other partners in the ecosystem?
So I'm curious, what do you mean by other partners? Just like people you just work with in general, or like client base?
Yeah, at what point will you be engaging partners? What do you tend to bring them in for? Is that demand increasing, staying the same, falling off? Or are you just differentiating to take on more of that responsibility that you would normally turn to?
I would say it's probably more that.
Yeah.
I found that most of the time, it's not that we didn't have the skill set, we didn't have the time. And so now this is allowing us to kind of fit in a little bit of the both and both sides of it. So so we had a client who needed an automation built for ingesting things into one of their projects, and then build out a complete planner set. So I gave one of my team, Claude, I gave him one of the Power MCPs, and he built it in about an hour. That was something that either previously would have just not happened. That's kind of the high-hanging fruit, the things that we might not have done before.
So do you find yourself absorbing more of what the client is asking because you have more of the capability in-house?
Yeah, effectively.
So how does that then change? Well, where you would normally turn to a partner to then supply that demand?
A good question.
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know if I have an answer for that.
Myself, I am not afraid of asking for help. In the past, I was that way, but not anymore. I do have a few partners. There's one in San Diego that I love to come to often. And when we have something that come up with a question or a project from a client, I never hesitate to call him, and he's always there for me, and I love that. And the same way for ourselves, for him, and anybody else, of course.
Anything to add, Matt?
I don't know if this answers the question, so stop me if it doesn't. But I find in the partner community and with MSP, CSP motions, there's a light bulb moment with AI where it finally clicks. It's like, oh, I could do this. And for our company, it's how do we be in the room when that light bulb goes on? Because we're here to help, right? And I think the partner community, honestly, I see it becoming more collaborative than I've seen in the past. I'm fairly new to the MSP CSP world within the last 7 years. So, certainly a new kid on the block, but, the conversations where I'm not going to share my client book or bring another partner in because I don't want them, to encroach. I think we're seeing a lot more collaborative responses to bringing partners with different skill sets in to get bigger projects, bigger clients.
Okay, thanks. Are you going to say something? Okay. I have a question regarding any success story you have which can give us the glimpse of like, wow, this is a great use of AI. Anything you have seen for your clients? Thank you.
I do have a good one. Back in 2020, during the pandemic, a lot of us were in not good places, different styles of our lives. I'm grateful for the learning or connections that I made on that during the time. That's when I actually became a member, and that's when I met the person I'm talking about in San Diego and a few other people here. So because of these connections, I have been able to explore or actually, explore in other systems that we use ourselves or tools that we currently use. In the past, the way that we operate was totally kind of like old-fashioned, but now because other partners of mine, they have suggested different systems, then everything is just more easygoing in a way, productive, efficient, and just magical in a way, because all the systems that we have implemented, but it's because I have asked around, what do you think of this one? What do you think of that one? And so on and so on. And that's a success for me because of 2020 or the pandemic.
I just did one, regional bank. See, let me make sure I don't say anything I shouldn't say. Regional bank wanted an assessment of their tenant and their Azure environment. So typically there's not a one-stop solution, but leveraging AI, cloud adoption framework, various security governance, compliance, well-architected review, zero trust. I won't tell you the prompt, but basically it gave me a spreadsheet and a list of scripts and queries to go run that I handed off to an engineer. They went off and ran that output. I put that output into my agent. I got an executive summary. I got a detailed gap analysis and just various reports. And that whole effort took about 3 hours. And so anyone who's done one of those comprehensive in the past, that would have been several days, maybe a week or two. So the speed at which you can gather data, analyze data, and then output it into a meaningful summary or content is there. I mean, it's truly amazing. If you haven't gone down that road, I highly recommend seeing what you can do.
So this was done on Copilot?
It was done on, well, for a combination of, but yes. It was done, so it was done on Copilot. It wasn't in auto mode. I selected, there's various, and if anyone wants to talk about it offline, I don't want to, but there's, there's various models you can pick for various tasks.
All right, I have a specific MSP question. When you're managing servers, with companies now moving more to the cloud, they might be switching to Entra ID instead of on-prem Active Directory. You've got less domain controllers. Files are being migrated to SharePoint Online. You've got less file servers. Therefore, you have less on-prem backup systems. So how are you replacing that revenue? Because there's a revenue stream associated with all those servers that are going away now. How have you found successful methods to replace that revenue?
In our sense, we just charge enough on our per user model that it doesn't really matter. At least it hasn't for us. In fact, we tend to save a fair amount of money by lifting and shifting to Azure because of the BCDR methodology we use. It's a lot less work. And so we find we have 2 to 3 styles of clients. We have the fully SaaS, which are going to be inside the SharePoint OneDrive. It's a really good fit. And then there's ones that have very heavy fat local applications. Sometimes premise-based is still the right way to go for those clients. And then for clients that are very remote oriented, but still have some SaaS up or some heavy applications, they just go to Azure. We just make sure we mark up Azure enough. So now we just have a reoccurring revenue on that part. We still charge the professional service piece to get them there. Our business is like 80% reoccurring revenue. So we still have a lot of professional service work that we do, but it's very, we just make sure we charge with enough margin inside of our per user agreement that it doesn't really matter. So
I was going to ask how you might be expanding the offerings that you currently had, but how have you been?
Oh, goodness. I don't know if I really like the way we have our model set up personally. And I know everyone's a fan of their own specific way they set up their MSP, and there's no one perfectly right way. I know that the way we do it has been working really well for us. We tend to have very good margins. We tend to have very good agreement efficiency. There's a company called C-Level Operations that was bought by Pax8, whatever. That part doesn't matter as much, but they run this thing called an agreement efficiency, and they want MSPs to sit somewhere between 0.8 and 1.5. And so 1.5 is the very top of what good is. We typically sit around 1.8, 1.9. And so that's our average agreement efficiency. And we have a lot that sit in the 3, 4, 5 range. And they're like, well, but your clients aren't going to be happy. I'm like, no, they're thrilled because they aren't calling us. And so it gives us lots of margin in our agreements to go do the right things for them, no matter what. So I don't know. I like the way we're delivering that service. And so a lot of what I guess I'm expanding is how we do what we do for our clients. So now we can do the same thing for more. But yeah.
Yeah, please.
Great. For us, mentioned earlier that we consider ourselves kind of like consultants for our clients. When we have clients that have servers on their offices, we tend to analyze the current use of the server, and then within months or so, we come back to them and offer them different solutions to replace that. And I do believe on Microsoft Cloud a lot, not only for the pricing, but also for the security. So it's about kind of not necessarily convincing the client, but it's consulting them that it is for the best for different reasons. Of course, security is one of them, accessibility, and they believe us, and then we just proceed and propose a cost, and then we go ahead and have fun, because that's a lot of fun for us.
I might just take that up a notch. And if you're removing the server from the equation and they're going to SharePoint in cloud, are you having the conversation around governance and purview and Copilot enablement? Because that revenue is 3 to 4x what server management with a lot less risk. And I don't know how many people, I've been doing it for 30 years. I can't tell you how many times I get that 3 o'clock call with a server that's no longer, online. So I'd much rather be dealing with tagging and governance in purview than a physical server. And I'm a network guy.
I had a question for William or anybody else who's bringing in AI tools.
to help processes, how do you ensure data protection, data confidentiality, or if you're working with partners, third party, and if you're passing the data on, how do you ensure that the data stays protected?
Legal agreements are the only thing I can.
Yeah, but you must be doing something to ensure that you comply with the legal agreement.
So there's a couple of things that we're doing. The biggest thing is making sure all of our settings are set up front as much as possible, right? Like there's never going to be the perfect protection, but I feel like we're at this really interesting inflection point where the speed of not doing something might be more dangerous than the speed of doing something. With that, we go through, we make sure our legal agreements are set up properly with each of the different vendors that we use, simply because like that is probably going to be the thing that protects us more than anything, which pains me. And it's understanding where your data lives. So at this point, we do know where most of it lives. It's actually the SaaS vendors we have the least amount of visibility into. Where does any of it live? It's all in the cloud. So it's a really muddy thing to answer, and there's no perfect way. But I've solidly just gotten to the point where it's like the risk of not learning this stuff and figuring it out is probably more dangerous than the risk of something getting out there. But again, we also spend a lot of time protecting against that too. So
do you use the AI tools that that you have to give access to a lot of data, etc., or
yeah, I mean,
do you rely on any new AI tools, or is it just Copilot or?
Copilot's fine. We use it a lot as well. But like at this point, we have Cloud Enterprise account and GPT Enterprise accounts just because we want to have those agreements that lock down the data security. Simply, good, better, ugly, Cloud is still just, it's a little further along. And I know that they just started releasing Opus inside of Copilot very recently. They don't have a really good answer for Cloud Code yet. So at least not that I've seen yet. And I may be the dumb one here, and I'm hoping to learn a lot from this guy. So,
well, one thing I can tell, I mean, coming from cybersecurity and also working on reviewing many third-party applications, ensuring that they are complying, is their certifications. Sure. If they have good certifications, then at least there's some, besides legal, the legal contract, that's one protection. But still, if you're the front end answering to you still, if something happens, it doesn't.
He used a key term, enterprise. So not only does enterprise come with a legal agreement, and enterprise comes with the guardrails to protect your data. If you're doing anything other than Copilot, Claude, XAI, OpenAI, any of those, if you're not under an enterprise agreement, everything you're putting up into the model is now public. Just did a whole study on author writing books with AI. It's interesting. So if you're not running an enterprise agreement, now the benefit of Copilot and using the Microsoft stack is you have that guardrail integrated, right? You have that enterprise agreement built into your Microsoft agreement. So it is a little, if you take the time, it's a little more natural. But that doesn't mean you have to have an enterprise agreement. You just have to make sure that the data you're putting up there is scrubbed, right? And so if you in the finance and legal markets, MPI, non-public information, that's been around for some time. And so you can put information up in AI, just make sure that it's scrubbed without, and then it's not something that's proprietary that you don't want, others to use. Because once you put it in a model, it's there for everyone.
Got a question for you guys. For client solutions, use cases, outside of just chat kind of solutions, what are you doing today? Or what do you see in the future as what's the next thing that's going to be for a deliverable to a client? Now you can definitely take a data set, ingest it into a chat, and then they can use it. So what else? What's next?
Oh, grant me strength. How long do we have? So the last 3, 4 years, we've been very heavily into RPA solutions internally. And so we'd started to work on leveraging that out for clients. So that's great, right? Like that's the robotic process automation. Like we're able to streamline a process. What I've been finding is we've been building our own agentic stuff. I hate even talking about it sometimes, but like as the more we build about it, the more we build it, the more I'm realizing we can start having some level of intelligence. I wouldn't recommend OpenClaw, but I think there's something to the effect that OpenClaw, when you really like dive into it, like that was kind of the first thing where people saw the opportunity for a multi-stage, multi-tool, multi-whatever, where it could actually start doing different things. And now, to be fair, there are some very smart people that ran OpenClaw and deleted their entire mailbox. So like, be really, really careful with what you do. But like, that's kind of where I see things are probably going over the next year or two. How that gets implemented, I'm not sure yet, but that's part of why I'm just trying things. Because if clients are going to come to me and go, hey, how do we do this? I want to have done it before and be able to show them like, hey, this is the direction we're going and how we're doing things and how we're solving for stuff.
I don't know if I have enough time either, but so from a coding space, I find the curve is a little bit farther along than the public space, but I think Microsoft has kind of led people like they do. I'm going to use the term subliminally down the road. So we start with just the chat, and then we start with curated chat with agents. And so creating an agent is about identifying a process mapping, all that, and inserting an agent to do that process to make somebody's job easier. If you start, and the way I look at it is if you start lining up agents for a bigger process, and then you can ingest that into something that can just go off and be done autonomously, then you're agentic. And so I think as people are starting to understand AI and what it can do, and I think if we had this panel a year ago, people would be like, what's an agent? But I think people have the general idea of what an agent is today. And so I think 6 to 8 months, because the curve is just so rapid, autonomous AI and it being agentic, which is kind of being the norm. That makes sense.
I don't see any questions online, so I think let's wrap this up with this question. You mentioned collaboration with partners. How can the people in this room work with you better? What are you looking for in increasing that investment in this network?
I take that question myself first. I think that's the beauty of coming to these events, to network, to get to know each other. And we know that we are human beings, so we cannot do everything ourselves. So it's about being able to ask for help and the other person being able to help somehow, one way or another. If not today, maybe tomorrow. But it's about getting to know each other and hopefully eventually doing something. I mentioned earlier, we're not as much, we don't use AI heavily, but eventually I may come to them and ask for help, for training or maybe direction. Where should I go? Something that will benefit our business.
Friends on demand.
Well, I'm solidly in the point where it's like, I've learned so much from other MSPs and other vendors and other just partners, people in the space, right? Like everyone it's a very good community, in my opinion, to be a part of, because I think we all realize we're just trying to get better. We want to learn, and the rate of change is so fast that the only way for us to stay up is to be in a room full of other people trying to stay up. And so I'm a huge fan of just being taught things, and I'm a huge fan of teaching things, because it allows me to give everything that I've learned over the last 15 years out to other people. And it's like, if I happen to be ahead in this piece, great, let's talk about it. I'll be happy to show people what we do. If it's another partner wanting to work with us, like, show me what you're doing. Show me, like, I want to learn. I want to understand. And it's like, and the more I understand what you do and how you do it and why it brings value, the easier it is for me to go, oh, yeah, I know where I could put that. So, yeah.
Knowledge sharing.
I think knowledge sharing is it. And then it's identifying, and that's what my company was started on is, okay, we have a technical ability. So definitely the knowledge sharing, but the MSPs out there, they're the kind of you're out on the front line. And so, you know, we have a meeting twice a week, a stand up, and it's like, what are we going to build today? You know? And so if, you know, it's the partners out there, it's the partner community that knows what the customers need. And so that's kind of our go-to-market strategy is how do we get in front of partners and understand what the need is, and what should we build, and how do we get that to be transactable? And so that's what events like this for me and my team, that's what it means.
Well said. Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank our panel right here. William B.J. Pote, Miguel Angel Cuevas, Matthew Collins. Yeah, thank you. Go ahead. Take that. I'll take that wireless over there. We'll see which one Sherman prefers. As we move to our next. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to introduce somebody to you. He is the president of the Crancer Group. He's very high energy. He is fiscally conscious, according to his bio, goal-driven. He's not just a technology executive that's kind of focused on services and creative problem solving, data-driven, all of that, but he's one of the founding members of this chapter and has always had a lean to it, contributing back to the partner community. He spent more than 5 years at Microsoft, so he's earned his stripes working directly with the partner channel in its infancy, driving growth and success. His experience gave him deep insight into just what works and what doesn't, which a lot of the times is that knowledge share that we're looking for. With a passion for business management, profitability, differentiation, creative marketing strategies, he's helped hundreds of Microsoft partners transform their approach to building strong organizations and maximizing the capacity they can extract from their relationship with Microsoft. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sherman Crancer.
Thank you, everybody. It's good to see a lot of the folks that I started with. You know, I was kind of thinking before I was on the way over here, I was thinking to myself, gosh, you know, how long has it been? And it has been 12 years being part of IAMCP. And I actually owe my whole career in technology to IAMCP. I actually came here as a telecom master agent. I knew nothing about Microsoft. I just thought, ooh, I should go network with some MSPs. They've got clients. I need clients. Let's go talk to them, right? And just through the, you know, the stars and the lines and, you know, coming together, I ended up working at Microsoft for 5 years, and that was just an incredible experience. You know, we started, just a little background on myself. We started the Crancer Group at the end of 2019, a month before the pandemic. It was great. It was a good idea. You know, leave Microsoft, let's go start another company. And we were the first company to come out with this idea of partner enablement, which we're going to be talking about today, about helping Microsoft partners navigate the Microsoft ecosystem to actually, you know, do better, work faster, work, you know, with more impact. Over the past 5 years, we've had a few different iterations as a company. But before I get started, you know, I just wanted to do something. One of you guys may remember this exercise I used to do, but because we just went through a good presentation and we just ate, I want us to stretch our legs just a little bit. Okay, we're just going to do this. So I wanted to count off. We're going to count off this little exercise. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so we're going to start here. You're a 1. You're a 2. Okay, you're a 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 1. Okay, keep going. Okay. Back row. You're a 2. You're a 2 over there. Okay, you're a 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, keep going. Let's all grab a number. Don't be shy here. Okay.
Pay attention.
Fred's a 1. Fred's always the one. He's number one. No, no, number 3, 2. Okay, just keep going around. Okay. Now, what I want us to do here, keep going. 1, 2, 1, 2. We all got a number here. Okay, 1, 2 in the background. 1. Okay, perfect. It's not too hard, guys. This is an easy one. This is an easy one. Okay, it's just 1 or 2. That's all you are. Okay. Now, what I want all the ones to do, I want you to stand up. Come on, we just ate something. We're gonna stand up. We're gonna shake our arms off a little bit. Shake them off. And what I want you to do is all the ones, I want you to put your hands out like this. This is so cool. So out like this. Okay. Now the 2s, go ahead and 2 stand up now. Okay. Shake it off. Okay. The 2s. Okay. Okay. Now the 2s, I want you guys to put your hands together. Okay. Now, when you do that, now what? Big smile. Just a big old smile. Okay. I bet Eric $50 that I would get a standing ovation. And I just wanted to go ahead and do that and say thank you very much for the standing ovation. I appreciate it. Yeah. $50 later, and go ahead and do that. Thank you very much. Okay. See, that's all I got to do. That's all I got to do. I don't even have to do this presentation. I got standing ovation. It's awesome. All right. Hey, so the reality is today we're talking about how to get the most momentum. Let me go ahead and share the screen here. Let me go ahead and share. And
That's good.
okay, well, we'll just actually put it in share mode. There we go. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay, so what do we specialize in? So we specialize in shaping Microsoft partners. That's what my company does. Crancer Group, we specialize. We used to do marketing for partners. We got out of that business, thank goodness. That was tough. But yeah, we specialize in helping Microsoft partners. There are 900 or I don't know, about 1,000 programs at Microsoft. And you all know this. You all know there's 1,000 programs at Microsoft. What we do is we actually tell our partners to forget 995 of them. We do. Yeah. And we want to focus on the top 5. And those 5 things that we focus on are going to maximize your ROI by being a Microsoft partner. That's really what it comes down to. All we care about is that you make more money by being a Microsoft partner and you don't get lost in the shuffle. Gosh, every 6 months, Microsoft changes everything, right? And this is just the most exasperating thing. You think it's easy. Oh, I can work with Microsoft. I can buy some licenses. And you also think, hey, when I buy licenses or sell licenses or work with Microsoft, it should all just trickle down, right? I mean, gosh, they think they must think I'm important. They're not going to go ahead and maybe miscount or misrepresent some of the things that I'm doing and not pay me the full amount of money. We all wish that was, but Microsoft is very complicated. We love Microsoft. We all do. That's why we're here. But in reality, a lot of things aren't attributed, right? So we focus on the top 5 things that are going to make you the most money. Now, the presentation I'm going through could be a little bit rudimentary, but also to a point, I hope it's going to raise some eyebrows. And at the conclusion of this presentation, I'm going to leave you with 4 or 5 things that you can take away from, okay? That you can actually just leave today and be like, okay, I want to focus on this. But the main thing, guys, as in girls, guys, gals, I'm not trying to be gender specific here. It's, forget the noise. Let's just focus on what's going to make us money. Okay, that's what it comes down to. How are we going to maximize the benefits that are available to us? That's what it comes down to. All right, so let's go ahead and move this here. I use this terminology, the water finds the crack. I've got 5 things later today that are going to you're going to blow your way as far as like tips that you can take. Since we're in it every single day, we find loopholes all the time. We're looking for loopholes. And one comes around certifications, which is really cool. You probably only thought that if you're a certified Microsoft individual, that you could only tag your MPN ID, your learning cert, to one partner, correct? That's what we all think, right? That's not correct. You can actually, there's a loophole. We can maximize that. We can attach you to 7 different partners. So this is really what it is. The water finds the crack. Okay. So, there's 1,000 programs and it's getting worse year over year. So these are some of the issues, right? Getting specific direction and guidance is usually very difficult. I mean, how many times have you tried to open up a ticket with Partner Center and they close it? And you're like, okay, what was the reason you closed it? I got the answer. Like, no, it's not relevant. They just close it. You just want to do that, right? What should you focus on, right? I think there's programs and programs. Now, we've all heard in the past 9 months, agents, agentic AI, agents, Copilot, agents, right? Agents. Every time you turn around, agents. Like, was that going to make me any money right now? No, because I don't even understand agents. So you're getting a lot of information there, right? A lot of folks don't understand the specific steps they need to take. You know, can somebody explain how all this works? It's very difficult, right? Because Microsoft has reduced the ability to talk with them directly. They've pushed you all to disties, right? If you are a direct partner, you probably just got recently pushed out, right? I don't know if anyone here's a direct, you got pushed out because they want you to go to Disty to get the information. And does Disty do a great job? They try very hard. We're tagged with a lot of Distys. They try hard, but it's difficult. There's just so much information, right? How do I get leads from Microsoft? We're going to talk a little bit about that today. How do I actually do it? The old leads of 10 years ago, I don't remember, some of us remember those days, there'd be like, a whole bunch of leads would come in, but they'd be shared with 3 or 4 different partners. And if you didn't click on it within like 22 seconds of getting the lead, you know, somebody else would get it. And they were terrible too, right? Remember that, right? But today it's a much, much different story. You know, are there reporting issues to contend with? I'm going to give you a stat here. Last year, we did 100 audits. It's kind of how we do things. We audit partners first, Partner Center. And out of Partner Center, we found 21%. This is on average over 100 audits last year. 21% breakage from what you sold at Disty versus what was in your Partner Center. Now, can anyone tell me why that might be? Just give me throw something out there. Why would they be reporting errors? Well, that's probably, okay, there's 3 reasons why they're reporting errors. That's the biggest one. Okay, yes. 1, CPOR. Okay, are we getting a partner of record, right? Number 2, PAL associations for your Azure stuff. You thought, oh, maybe PAL is only for enterprise deals. Nope, not really. Nope. Third thing is naming conventions. This is the one that's very interesting. You could have JP Pritchett company at Disty, but you have John Paul in your Partner Center. And well, they don't match up, so sorry, you don't get credit. Right. So there's a lot of issues that are contend with. Also, usage issues. We had this one organization we helped with. They had 15. They couldn't get an SPD. They couldn't get an advanced specialization. They're a $500 million a year revenue company doing over, gosh, probably $6 million in Microsoft sales. Okay. They couldn't get an SPD. Why? Well, they did business with a casino 5 years ago. And the casino had a $15 million Azure commitment. They no longer did business with the casino, but for 2 years, they tried to get that off of their attribution. And Microsoft kept telling them, no, we can't remove that. And therefore, they could never qualify. So they lost, gosh, probably $250,000 in back-end incentives per year because they didn't have that. Now, we knew who to call. We actually called the person directly right up. I'm like, hey, take it off. Right. And in 48 hours, we're able to remove it. But those are the kinds of things that happen, which hamstrung, and which is, and as I was coming over today, I was thinking, you know, most of us, we think we trust in our vendors. We trust in our relationships. We think, hey, I sold the services. I did it through Disty, just like you said. I brought it through. Why am I not getting attribution for these things, right? But then there's a lot of little things that you don't understand either, like on usage, which we'll get into in just a second. So anyways, this may seem rudimentary, but I want to put this because this really sets the stage for what you need to focus on and forget the rest, right? So there's 4 different levels of being a Microsoft partner. Right. One is membership. Great. We signed up. We got an MPN ID. Great. What do we get? Access to some marketing stuff that you'll never use and access to the learning portal, which you will use. You should be using that. Right. But OK, there's nothing really there. Second thing is, OK, partner success. I'm a new partner success company. Great. I've got an MPN ID. I finally decided I want to work with Arrow, Synex, Ingram, a distributor to sell CSP. And I bought one of the starter packages, which is the MAPS, Microsoft Action Pack, right? $500, or the Partner Success Package. I think that's $1,000. You get like 20 licenses. You get a bunch of things. So you've got that, right? But what does that get you? Well, that only gets you the front end margin. Okay, it's very simple. It's what is the discount off of the MSRP that you get from your distributor? Great. Okay. Are you making any money on that? No, you're not. Not really. I mean, unless you're GoDaddy, right? And you're selling millions of licenses, you can go and live off that. But the second piece, so that's partner success. So then the next one is solution partner designation. And why did we come up with this? Or not we, but solution partner designation was come up because, in the reality, I'll give you the brass tacks of it. There's over 15,000 net new Azure workloads or workloads in Azure over the past 5 years. Not one person can be an expert at all of them. Okay, so and then also 365 and Copilot and right now business application security, it's exploded. And so that was the reason why they said, you know, we're not going to allow you to be a silver or a gold partner anymore, because there's no way you can tell somebody you're a gold Azure partner if you haven't mastered all 15,000. I mean, come on. There's a good reality behind it. We want people. So that's where the solution partner designation came in. And what do you get for that? Okay, so when it first came out, what did you get? Now you got back-end incentives. Really cool. Okay, so you can get back-end incentives, and back-end incentives are anywhere between 4 and 20%. Cool, right? Depending, like somebody from that sells Teams Voice, right? I think it's at 22% right now. If you are selling Teams Voice on top of the accelerators, about 22% back-end residual on top of your margin. Holy Moses! Now they're starting to make some sense, right? So there's different programs come out. They're different things, but you get back-end residuals, but you also get what are called the really beautiful IUR package, 100 licenses of 365 and 6,000 in Azure credits. It actually equates to about $60,000 in software stuff. Great, cool. Now, many of you guys know this stuff, and I'm sorry if I'm being redundant and you're hearing something new, but our perspective on it is you got to get to 70 points. You got to specialize in it. Now, what are the frustrations with this particular one, right? The biggest frustration, most people getting an SPD is what's called certs, right? Getting enough people to be certified to get your program. And how many people here have the ability to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and hire 3 Azure solution architects at $160,000 a piece, even though I don't have to work for them, but because Microsoft says I got to have a cert, I got to go get these people. We don't have that, right? So that hampers it. But Microsoft said, you know something, we understand that. We're just going to say, if you get 25 points out of the 70 you're supposed to get, no problem. We'll start giving you back-end residuals. Great. But do you get the IURs, the individual use rights? No, you don't get all the cool other stuff behind it, and no MCI engagements. Now, super important. Okay, so this is where we want most of our partners to go. We want you to get to 70 points because you get the back-end residuals. But then also, right now, when it first came out, there is nothing but that. Right now, which is really important, like if you got the Azure Infrastructure Solution Partner designation, you would have access to Azure Migrate and Modernize. Okay, that's a deployment, what's called MCI, Microsoft Commerce Incentive Engagement. There's 2 things, but MCI is an acronym. I hate all these acronyms. But one of it is back-end residuals, and the other one are actual deployment or assessment dollars that you can use for every single deal. So if you had just the Azure SPD and you have an organization that has a $5,000 or $10,000 deployment, holy smokes, we can get some money for that. That's called, I call that MCI mapping. So we'll go to a customer and say, hey, in your past 2 years, how many clients do you have that potentially we could move to Azure? And they'll say, I got 7. Great, give me the names of them. Then we'll look in and we'll find out which Microsoft Commerce Incentive assessment or deployment dollar is applicable. Now go get it, that kind of a thing. So we want to maximize that. Now, but in security, there is 5. If you have a security SPD, there's 5 assessments that you can actually use right now to get between $5,000 and $20,000 for different types of security assessments. It's fantastic. Business applications, not much there. I'm sorry, guys. But if you're in business applications, it's tough. Sorry. It's a whole nother group of Microsoft that it's a different animal. I'm not going to even talk about it. But anyways, solution partner designation is important. Now, advanced specialization. Okay, let's talk about this just real quick. Now, anyone here have an advanced specialization? Anyone here thought about an advanced specialization? Okay, good. All of you should be thinking about it because this is where you want to go. And we tell all of our partners, if you're working with us, that's our goal. You had a specialization. Okay. We're going to go back and get it back because just the dollars and cents that come from having the advanced specialization is worth every amount of focus for you as a partner. Okay. If Microsoft is in the top 3 things that you say anytime you meet a new customer, if they're in the top 3 offerings that you talk about, you have to get to advanced specialization, period. Because that's where all the money is. It's 4 times the revenue, 4 times the back-end revenue if you have the advanced specialization. And that's all I care about is the money. How do we make the most money out of every single engagement that we have? And I'm going to show you this. It's going to blow you away in just a second. But advanced specialization gets you access to assessment dollars. It gets you access to deployment dollars. It also gets you access to Microsoft sellers. Many of you don't know this, but about a year and a half ago, Microsoft sellers kept belly aching about all the people calling them up saying, hey, give me a deal, give me a deal, give me a deal, right? And so Microsoft said, well, I don't care if you're belly aching because now every deal has to have a partner. Because they knew there's a 22% compound annual growth rate if a partner is involved in the deal. They know that. So the pushback, the story goes, Microsoft pushed back, or the sellers pushed back, and they said, look, we want to have a keys to the castle. We want to have a benchmark. And Microsoft said, great, well, sell with advanced specialized because they use the cloud adoption framework to deploy their business, and they know what they're doing, and they're low risk. So that's why we want that, because eventually we want to be able to sell with Microsoft sellers. If you do not have an advanced specialization, they can just pass you over. There are probably over 200 advanced specialization partners. There's a big opportunity for you, right, to do that. But they can pass you over just like that, and they will do that because they are worried about making sure they can count on you to do the deployment. It's very simple. Okay, so we have that. But now let's look at the dollars and cents, because this is where it all comes together. Regardless of what I say, this is where it comes together. Okay, so I'm looking at an Azure Virtual Desktop implementation, and I'm setting the tone at $100,000. Let's say it's 100 grand over the year. Okay, not a huge deal, not a small deal, but it's 100 grand of VDI. If you had the advanced or just a solution partner designation just on this side, okay, these are the payouts that we can get. 4 plus 2 plus 15. Net new plus the CSP accelerator, we're going to make 21 points in the first year. Now that's on top of your margin that you made with your distributor, which is anywhere between 12 to 15%, depending on whichever distributor you have and your negotiation tactics. Now, but if you had the Azure specialized partners, we can, if you have the Azure, if you have an advanced specialization, you can then ask for an assessment, $4,000 to $5,000 for the assessment. And on the specific deal, we can ask for between, we can ask for deployment dollars, 10 to 15,000. It's usually a 10-to-1 ratio. It's usually from Microsoft. If it's a $100,000 deal, they'll give you 10 grand, 10, 15 grand, depending on what you have, right? But then Microsoft also says, hey, for this new VDI deal, we're going to give you an acquisition bounty of $9,000. First year, 9 grand. Thank you. Bringing a net new logo. Appreciate it. But then on top of that, we're going to sweeten it because we really want to get more VDI partners. They're going to give you 30% of the first year's ACA, which is the Azure Consume Revenue, ACR, excuse me, Azure Consume Revenue. Okay. So holy Moses, wait a minute. I have an SPD in Azure. Shouldn't I get the specialization because I can get all these new benefits? So now let's look at the actual dollars. Okay. This is the money slide right here, right? 21 grand solution partner designation. 81,000 as an advanced specialized partner. It's dollars and cents here, folks. This is what we have, and all the other 995 programs that Microsoft has come out with, you know, just tell them to wait, because the only thing you should be focusing on, if Microsoft is in your top 3 products you talk about in any net new customer acquisition scenario, you should be thinking about, how do I get the highest level attainment, period? Then how do I maximize? Okay, there's this thing in MCI. This is I'll get into this in a second, but inside of your partner center, you have incentives, right? There's an incentive, and you go to MCI engagements. You can then, after you get to specialization, you can go check all the things that you qualify for. One of our exercises, like I mentioned before, is MCI mapping. As soon as you get that specialization, it should be looking at all your clients. How do I start now? And then also giving that to your salespeople. So any net new opportunities they got, they are saying, oh, I can get 5,000 here, I can get 10,000 here. That puts you at a real competitive advantage, right? So this was for a client that we had, and we have this optimal roadmap. We always do a roadmap for everybody, right? Because we want to do that. And we talk about achieve the Azure SPD, right? And we have completion dates. Achieve the security SPD, right? Develop co-sell ready Azure marketplace offers. Okay, now here, right there, that's the man, okay, over there. So A couple things about this. A lot of us have heard about the marketplace for so many years. It's ad nauseum, and it's changed in its iteration over and over and over again of what it does, who it's for. Anyone here actually gotten a lead from a consumer, okay, off the street from the Azure Marketplace?
Yes. Like global.
Global. He's also the man who's going to help you do this. So you probably should talk to him. Okay. But it's really not designed for that. Let's break it down. And they want us to believe it is, but the reality of it, and this is from what we've been dealing with, our opinion, how's that? Our opinion is the people looking at your marketplace offers are the Azure seller or are the Microsoft sellers. Okay. When you register a deal, it comes across their desk and you register as a co-sale deal opportunity. First thing they're going to do, go to Marketplace. They're going to look at you. They're going to look at your Microsoft profile, your partner profile. They're going to see if you have your SPDs. They're going to see if you have the advanced specializations, because that's the triggers. That's what they're thinking about. And then they're going to wonder, did you create your marketplace offer to coincide with their sales place? This is a little trick, okay? A little trick of how you massage the content to appeal to the person that's working or looking at your listing. Because if you're putting content in the marketplace that is for a consumer, say, oh, I want to buy that. It's the wrong audience, because you're not getting consumers to the marketplace. Microsoft wants you to, but Microsoft also wants to send you. He wants you to send people to their marketplace to purchase stuff from their marketplace. The reality is, en masse, customers are not going to the marketplace en masse, looking it up. Oh, Azure Marketplace, let's go find it. Like nobody knows that stuff. So important, so important to understand how to do that. And there's two frames of the marketplace. There is the regular static offers that you're gonna have in there, and then there's the IP co-sell offer. So if you're an ISV, holy Moses, there's a whole new change to that, right? We gotta look at that. So that's that. We leverage the engagements next, achieve infrastructure specialization, and then we really start our co-sell initiatives with Microsoft. That is the optimal partner roadmap. When you get to this point, you're starting a whole different scenario. You need to have one person doing it full time, building relationships inside of Microsoft, but you can do it and do it really good. Now, Microsoft is not going to hand you anything. Okay. They're going to go to KPMG first if they got a deal. Let's just be awesome. They're going to go to the big SIs first. So you have to differentiate. You have to find a niche in using Marketplace as your niche. What are you doing that's maybe specialized that can be replicated over and over again within an industry that changes? It changes why they may use you over KPMG or any of the other big ones that you have. Okay. So, just stages for best ROIs, Microsoft partner, sign up for the MPN ID, attain the solution partner designation, earn specializations. I know I'm probably getting deep into this stuff. We talked about the benefits already, but I think the percentages that really matter, okay, is if you had the solution partner designation, as I was kind of showing you in that one slide, 15 to 20%, right? For modern, oh, look at this, and I was updated too at my I did it at work at home. I promise you, I did. I promise you. I promise you. Well, it's just the main thing to look at with this is just on the right-hand side. It's what are the rebates? What are the higher tiers, right? We know that you're only doing. I know this was I sponsored this study with Gartner when I was at Microsoft. We know you're only landing 4.5 to 5 net new deals a year. It's what an MSP does, right? You're not built to put in 50 or 60 net new deals. We wish. Microsoft always wishes you would. Why aren't you selling more? Well, that's not how you're built, right? So just look at the percentages: 15 to 25%, business applications, 15 to 25%. Now, a couple things I want to get to. Where am I on time?
15.
So I'm at 5. Okay, 5. Okay, let me just. I lost. Let me get into a couple other things here. Okay. Understanding incentives and impact. Yeah, I mean, this is just kind of looking at the old versus the new. You see the silver and legacy and the gold legacy, right? And we still have partners. Oh gosh, there was a tiny mistake. Well, no, actually, I'm not going to go into that. I'll out somebody at Microsoft. There's still partners out there that are touting their gold and silver. It's hilarious. It's irrelevant. But really want to make sure you get the solution partner designation. Okay, hold on. Now, this is interesting. Okay, you might want to take a picture of this. These are the add-on incentives if you have the advanced specialization. Okay, so if you're looking at, you know, Azure infrastructure, 8 to 10%, right? The data and AI, 6 to 8%. And it kind of goes down there. Modern work, 5 to 7. Security, 6 to 8. You know, business applications, 5 to 7. You know, so I think those are important. You know, I really want you to make the most money as you can, but you really got to keep your eye on the ball with Microsoft because everything changes so fast. Now, cons of not getting your solution designation is, you know, you're going to lose co-sell eligibility, right? You're not eligible for partner incentives. You're not going to have your IURs. You're lack the customer-facing badge. And you cannot earn advanced specializations, which is probably the most important thing that you should be focusing on. Yeah, the access to partner benefits. Now, the difference there, just reiterate this, if you have 25 points in any one of the 6 categories, you start getting the back-end incentives, but you don't get the IURs, okay? And you don't get the ability to do any of the MCI stuff, which is the assessment dollars. So that's what you want to, you know, really kind of focus on. And let me get to cons of not getting your specialization. Okay, this is a really important tip. Who here uses the cloud adoption framework to document your deployments? Who uses their own runbook to document deployments? Okay, all you guys, right? So, okay, cloud adoption framework is Microsoft's way of documenting the deployment stages and how they do things. Now, I would suggest that each and every one of you at the end of this is to look up Cloud Adoption Framework and send it over to your engineers. And the reason why we say this is because before you get an advanced specialization, they're going to want to audit you, audit how you do your business. And they're going to say, give us 2 clients in the past 6 months that you use the Cloud Adoption Framework to deploy cloud workloads. It's very simple. You're going to take those 2, you're going to give it to a third party, which is called ISSI. It's a third-party audit company, and you're going to give them to them, and it's a paper tiger to go through this audit, okay? If you try to take your current run book and transpose that into the Cloud Adoption Framework details, I'm not going to guarantee this, but I can guarantee it's going to take you a lot longer to get through that audit, okay? And number 2, you'll probably fail it 3 or 4 times. It'll be not worth your time. So number 1, look up Cloud Adoption Framework. Number 2, get it to your engineers and say, hey, do me a favor. You got a couple smaller ones to start out, $5,000. Just get it done. Let's document it this way. This way we have the book ready, and then you sail through the audit. I'm saving you probably about 120 hours of frustration, okay? Because nobody's going to tell you this, but that's what you should do. Super important. Cloud Adoption Framework. And it's not bad. There's a few things in there you're like, oh, come on, man. You know, what? This is weird. But in reality, it's actually pretty good. And then you can tell Microsoft, hey, trust me, I do it the way you want me to do it. Don't worry about it. Give me a lead, right? Okay. Let's see. We're going to go through these. Okay. Strategy. Okay. I'm going to give you 2 really cool things to leave with. Here, who here is having any trouble with net new ads, qualifying for any net new ads to get your SPDs? Are you even thinking about that?
Takes forever.
Takes forever. Well, and then if we're only winning 3 net new deals a year, hard to get 3 net new ads every single year, right? So kind of tough. Okay, so that's a big one. I got a strategy for you. 2 strategies. Okay, number 1, do any of you know any nonprofits? IAMCP. Maybe not IAMCP. Save the whales. Save the marmots. I don't care who you save. Okay, identify 3 nonprofits that you actually like. Okay, and then what you do is you call them up. You say, you know something. Man, I love your messaging on save the whales. Man, I'm just telling you, I'm with you, bro. And they're like, really? And you're like, yeah. And you know something, we're a technology company. We want to donate some Microsoft Office 365 so you guys can be more productive and save more whales. They're like, really? And you're like, yeah. And you're like, I'm gonna give you 11 licenses of the nonprofit Office 365 SKU, which costs how much? Anyone know? $5. Okay. You give them 11 licenses, and then you say, hey, not only do we really appreciate you and we want to donate this for you, we're going to do it for 1 year. We're also going to do a quick walkthrough with your company. We're going to give you 45 minutes just to kind of test out all the new features. They're like, really? You're like, yeah, I want you to sub more wells. And you get them on, and then you do a walkthrough. You do 45-minute all hands. They all get in there. And what do they do? What are they doing while you're doing this walkthrough? You say, hey, everybody, let's go ahead and turn on Microsoft Teams. Everyone turns on Teams. Now, what happens? All of a sudden, the users light comes on for Microsoft for that Teams. And you're like, hey, everybody, let's go to Outlook. Send a message to everybody. They send a message. Oh, my gosh. Hey, everybody, let's go to Viva. Does anybody know what Viva? And so they're like, no. And like, well, I don't either, but let's go over there, you know, let's go to Viva. Let's go touch that, right? But the idea is you're walking them through these 45 minutes. They're all touching it. All the lights turn on. All of a sudden you have what? You have attribution for Microsoft. They're like, oh, yeah, you're using the licenses that you are selling people. So you do that with 3 organizations. It's going to cost you about $1,600 for the year. Now you have 3 net new ads. You have all your usage. Now you qualify for the Modern Work Solution Partner designation. And get this, you can write it off, that $1,500. Beautiful. Yes, sir.
So you're applying as a nonprofit, but you're not a nonprofit. How is, because the nonprofit has to go through the application process, don't they? To get the licensing?
For the $5 SKU, not for the $5 online Office 365 SKU. Or maybe they do. They have to go through tech.
Yeah, TechRock.
Yeah, but you're selling them the $5 SKU. You're selling them 11 licenses. You're paying for it. I'm paying for it I'm donating it basically. And then it's going to be in their tenant, or they're going to create a tenant. Maybe they have Office 365, maybe they don't, but you're going to give them 11 licenses and you're going to do a walkthrough. Now, the other thing too on the walkthrough is we found doing this strategy, 60% of those companies you did this free walkthrough for are now like, hey, can you sell us more licensing, or can you do some work for us? So you're donating, but you're making it, but now you qualify for the solution partner designation. Okay. Now here's another one that is a huge loophole. If you add 11 exchange licenses, it qualifies as a net new ad. Let me just, I'm going to confirm this. My team just, I wanted to make sure this morning that I could say this. Okay, just want to make sure. Yes, 11 exchange online licenses to a current account will be treated as a net new ad.
How many?
11. And those are cheap. Yeah, so now we qualify for a net new ad. Beautiful. Water finds the crack. That's what we do. We find the loopholes that you didn't know about. Okay. Couldn't answer the question in front of you right now, but if we'll talk later and I'll get my team to send you the exact ones to do. But yeah, that'll solve the net new ad problem. You know, if you're missing 1 or 2, you get a negative. That's a lot of times you'll end up with a negative because you just the trailing 12 months kind of does that. So that's that one. Utilization. Now, utilization, I kind of explained the trick for utilization. Microsoft says that if you're under 40% of the licenses you sold, 40% or less of the people turned on, they don't count as an actual usage, right? And that affects your solution partner designation and all that stuff. So same thing. When we do our audits, we'll actually look at every single client you have and we'll figure out what the percentages are. Then we come back to you and say, hey, out of your 20 clients, 11 of them are below 40%. This is what you need to do. Call them up and say, hey, we're going to do a free walkthrough with you. Okay, great. Turn those things on. Okay, important. Now, I have 2 more things and then we're done here. Certifications as a service. So I love the fact that we started this whole thing about partner enablement first. We're the first to market with this. We're the first to operationalize it. We've got a lot of people now copying us and coming into the, it's good. Options are good, right? You may not want to work with me, you may want to work with somebody else, but that's good. But we have a new product that I'm sure will be copied pretty soon. It's called Certification as a Service. If you have a company and you need certs, you are 3, 4, 5, 6 certs away, 7 certs. You need advanced specialization certs. You need Cisco certs. You need VMware certs. You need other company certs. I've got certs. I got certs like you wouldn't believe. Yeah, so basically certification as a service, what we sell now is 10 certs in 30 days. So you need any certs you need and across the Azure stack, I'll get you those individuals in 30 days and attach it to your organization and then you'll qualify. If it's a advanced specialization cert that we may not have a person tagged to it and they need to take a test, it's 45 days. Okay. But the beautiful thing about the cert as a service piece is it's easy. and it actually attaches really quickly. Now, you do have access to those folks if you want to use them. They're back of the house. I wouldn't use them as front of the house folks. I use them as back of the house. And lastly, it was approved by Microsoft 1.5 years ago when I came to them with the idea. So good stuff. We're really happy about that. We took a little while to really make sure it worked and it was seamless. But now if you need certs, just like that, it's a beautiful thing. Last thing I'm going to impart with you is focus on ROI as a partner. Okay. Thank you very much for having me today, but focus on ROI. It's easy to get down a rabbit hole inside a partner center, inside of anything Microsoft. It really is super easy to do. Stop. Let's get to advanced specialization first. Okay. And then after that, start thinking about how do we kind of maneuver around, what else can we take advantage of? Okay. With that being said, thank you very much for your time today. Really do appreciate it. And if you want to talk, we'll talk later. Have a good day.
Dude, I'm jonesing for some certs. You got certs? You got certs? Oh, wow. Well, if you think Sherman's a good looking guy, you've got to meet his brother, Richard, who's also been here at the chapter. He is coming out this April 22nd to deliver a workshop directly for all of us. So you've been here. I don't know if you had a nickel for every time you heard the word marketplace today, you'd have what, a quarter? But you'd probably have quite a bit with you. Let's see. Clickety click. Clickety click. Yeah. No, that's the picture there. There's Richard. So he's actually doing this workshop. It's right across the freeway over there. It's fun to find that particular room that we're going to be in, the Sage conference room. But it's there and so 2 hours workshop. Richard's going to present for an hour, and then we're all going to dive into marketplace and create profiles and create a working offer. Transactable is the word I hear you saying all the time, Matthew. So that one is free for all members. You can register at that QR code. Lots of great stuff. I think we jumped forward too many. There we go. Hey, look, I'm not a spring chicken. Many of you in this room are not that either. Eventually, we're all going to be moving on. So we have a webinar on successful exit strategies for IT, MSP, and software enterprises on May 6th. So I don't see Fred Baba E in here, but he's going to be leading that one. So thank you, Fred. Then at the end of May, AI and upstream technology. So this is a webinar directly that Ashley put together with Mango Bytes AI, and the gentleman's name there is Gary Pearson. Thank you. So he'll be coming on and delivering on that. So going deeply into that operation. And then these are things you added to the shopping list here.
Yes. So next week, April 8th, Wednesday, just across the road at Ingram Micro, the WIT Network SoCal is having the Art of Prompting with Microsoft 365 Copilot. And this is featuring Jody Ryan. So come join us 5:30 to 7:30. That's the QR code to register. It will be on their campus in person and kind of take everything that we're talking about today. And if your AI assistant, whether it be Copilot, Claude, GPT, is not up to snuff with what you're hearing can be done, it could be prompting. So join us for that event. And then the following morning, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard, Thursday, April 9th, we have an opportunity for the IAMCP International Committee, which is the people culture group, is going to be celebrating our 2025 Lift winners. And we actually have one in the room. Manish, care to stand up? This is his AI generated self. And we have the honor of Gabriella, the judge of the awards, to be on the webinar. And I'm going to be your moderator. So get ready. Going to have some tough ones for you. But no, it's all about celebrating the Lift winners across the international chapters. And we hope you can join us.
Before I click through, I want to recognize somebody who is an unsung hero in this chapter. who's made all of this happen behind the scenes. He takes no credit for anything, but he's standing right here on stage with us, Ashok Patel.
I do it for the community.
Mic drop.
So if you think we're fun when we're doing business, you got to come out when we actually can play. So we have a pickleball fundraiser Thursday, September 10th out in Anaheim. This is going to be a blast. 40 teams maximum. Get your tickets while they're hot. Sponsorships, as you can see, are available, and we're coordinating all of that. Once again, Ronald McDonald House of Orange County is our designated charity. They're great people. We are glad to be a part of making this happen and raising funds for them.
Yeah, if you're interested in sponsoring, we just got our venue and date, and we are trying our best to bring this down to $100 so it's more digestible for our players. But we've got to get a sponsor in there to be able to make that happen. I know earlier we had some people raise their hand in the room for doing some micro sponsors. If we have anyone generous enough that wants to stand up and be one of our sponsors, I'll open that up for a moment. Or if you have clients or customers that you're working with that are looking for ways to be able to give back, this is a great opportunity for the Ronald McDonald House of Orange County. So more information will be coming out, and really excited to get out there and try something different in lieu of our golf tournament.
Right.
Wonderful. We got our first one. Thank you, Fred and Excellence Office. We appreciate that. We're going to be auctioneers here soon.
I think so.
All right.
Next is how we're going to close everything out. So now it's time to meet the other people here in the room. First of all, we're going to start with you. So this is our month or chapter meeting drawing. Yes, I have in my possession
the Starbucks
$25 gift card to feed your habits. All you need to do is take the survey at that link or that QR code, and then we're going to make a drawing, and somebody's going to walk out of here with this.
And in all honesty, we really, really appreciate this feedback. We refer back to it when we're on with sponsors or folks that are coming in on the educational side. We go through it often to decide what type of panel, individual speaker, what we're going to do next, who we're going to help, who we're going to tap on to get assistance with events. Big shout out to Alberto, who helped us with the PMI mixer along with Manish. We're always looking for new ideas, but we need folks that also want to help guide and lead those types of events, webinars, mixers, happy hours, and events. Let us know if you're interested. But this is where we get a lot of the guidance on as far as being able to meet the needs for what you find valuable in these meetings.
And there's also a question on there that is, if you'd like to join a committee, here's the list of them. You see that they're quite well populated. They're making all the things happen. So if you feel like you're missing out on the action, you got that FOMO, and you want to get in, that's the way to do it.
We're a lot of fun. So come hang out. All right, we'll leave this up for another moment. I see a lot of people still typing away. Everybody have the QR code? So we're going to plop this into our wheel of wow, which it has been coined to do the randomized drawing. Anybody still need more time? Right.
Pickleball taking over for the golf tournament this year?
Yes. Yeah.
My wife is always complaining. She's like, you guys don't do anything that I would want to go to. I've broken that habit.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm like, she loves pickleball. There's 2 tickets right there. My wife, she's totally psyched. She's like, hey, send me the calendar invitation. I'm like, we don't even have one up yet.
All right, let's give it a whirl.
Paul, here we go. Feeling lucky, punk?
You guys haven't used these before. It's great for team meetings if you need volunteers.
Miguel!
All right.
Come on up, buddy.
Wonderful. See, you help out on a panel and then you win some Starbucks. It's a win-win. But yeah, funny story about the Wheel of Wow. In addition to team meetings and volunteer and things like that, we did that for who was hosting Thanksgiving across the families when we didn't know who should do it.
1, 2,
All right, next slide. I think we're going to get into the networking part if I'm not.
Yes. So you may notice we don't go around the room as much as we used to, but that's okay because what we're doing now, we're going to break out into groups of 4. We're going to be passing out some cards in just a moment. And then whatever card you have, you're going to get together with the same people that have that card. And then you're going to get to meet them. Great. I want you to exchange your emails, your LinkedIns, all that contact information with each other with the objective to meet between the meetings. What is that, you may ask? That is where you guys get together in between the 2 months it takes to get back to these chapter meetings so that you can actually have that in-depth conversation, begin to learn more about each other. What was Miguel saying up here? The connection, the same thing was reinforced by Matthew, having those connections for everybody within the organization. That's what builds this up and makes it worthwhile. Because then you can learn a lot about their business, what makes them tick, and what pisses off their wife. Okay, so cards are going around. And then when we're done with that, please feel free to grab any food to go when you want, but stay as long as you want. We're here for the afternoon. Me too. All right.
Here you go.
Okay. All right. Who's our ace?
We don't have aces.
No aces.
Hang on.
We're being so democratic now, egalitarian.
Oh, no.
Deuces. We have who's our deuce to start? Board member who's holding a deuce. Anybody?
You can start with 3 or 4.
Starts with 3 or 4. Okay, Trace. Who's our board member holding a 3?
No. 4.
4s. Board member holding a 4. Who is it?
Everybody's moving around.
They're all avoiding the cards.
Well, I'm number 5. So if you're holding a 5 right now, I'm going to plant myself right over there next to the board. So if you got a 5, come on up and join me. Love to meet you, know more about you. Thanks, John, for the well wishes there online. Always great to see you folks. 6s.
4 6s.
Miguel is our 6, so join him there. 7s.
You're 9.
Lucky number 7. Who's got it? Jim's got it right up here.
Yeah. Okay.
8s.
They call me Max. Nice.
Brian's got our 8s right here. Number 9. Alberto's got 9. You want to go up here? Number 10. Oh, Fred. Oh, and Roe. That's going to be a fun group. Jacks. Jackety Jack, Jack, Jack. Where you at?
6s. No more 6s. You on the LinkedIn?
Jacks.
No Jack.
No Jacks. Any queens? Stop to 10. Okay, great. Nice to meet all of you. Thank you for coming.
It's not all that you see. Oh, it's parts of it.
So,
to get to meet the man, the legend.
And you know, sight that, you know. Yeah, it's like that. Almost
I saw my
and of course, here, yeah, she's. Are you a 10? 7. Yeah. Great. Yeah. I just want to say hello. Hey, good to see you. I can tell you. I'm 10. You're 10? All right. Huh? Oh, hey, Brian. Brian is now. You like the book? Topic, right? I love the topic today. So
Software was,
yeah.
like me, that was kind of like my introduction to all of this.
Kind of how they call in the movie industry. But it's secretary.
Oh, yeah.
You will stuck. We stuck it. Good idea. So it's great.
Thank you. There you go. Join us. Yeah.
Join us, yeah.
Join us.
Right over here.
Yeah, we have
Yeah, I like it.
But you can hang out with the city.
Buy a round of drinks, we'll see how it goes. But I'm a country. April 28th. I'm still gonna be there. How do I encounter it? If I find appointments earlier that day or whatever. Great. If it doesn't work out, maybe it's something. You know, I go to where there might be. I mean, the company, we run our partnerships companies.
So,
Made their
so we're kind of new to, to the scene, right?
Strategy.
Excuse me, transition. So I got together and made this general
RBD.
So I've got one with all the buddies of mine, company.
Yeah, but my parents, and we have sort of shared points by chance.
Have you?
That might be interesting. You know, basically, LinkedIn, I'm gonna reach out to
They can win big enterprise deals with our platform because they connect with them. So
they just hired me to do some business development for them.
Yeah. No, I'm like servicing.
Already set up.
I'm at servicing.
Yeah.
Running it out is. It's okay, you know, it's nothing down, but I think it's a weird time. Another few people. Thank you. I've been in
And I'm looking to. They're showing this to another client. Cool. So basically, you guys
outside area. It's just outside the restaurant. I should have seen.
But yeah.
I'm not the best type.
Bring your wife if you want.
We're gonna start years. You know that. Like, I'll ask you, I can ask you something simple like that. White thing. Right. Yeah. I'm like, what? Conversation like where
And if you know of a couple of people in the area that are good networks.
So from the.
But you also apply to
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm gonna be much slower.
Yeah, what's the pizza?
Something like that.
Well, you're here.
Yeah. Shishi place, which means